Hi, I'm Shane.
I'm Kelsey, and this is Dixie.
And we're Love Hut for Life.
Yeah, we built this house from just a pile of sticks in 43 days, and it's become our home now. Welcome to our tour. All right, so most of the inside is actually refurbished wood. We did a lot of dumpster diving so that we could do this as cheaply as possible. I think the whole build cost us under $4,000, including the solar setup. But over our time in it, a lot of things have changed just to make it our own. Like, for instance, these pieces of artwork are from our friend Mary, and then we have our little chosen family thing here from a group of people that we like to travel with a lot. And then of course we have like the little family thing. So we actually have a 2-burner stove, and that's inside. We have an outdoor kitchen as well, but this is where we cook most of our meals. We've gotten very talented at using just 2 pots. It just runs off of propane, which is all underneath here. And there's a Mr. Buddy heater in there as well. Up here is where we keep all of our dishes. So we've got pots and pans and silverware and everything pretty organized up there for whenever we need it. In here is all of our like dry storage food. Our sink is completely DIY, I mean, as is the rest of our house, I suppose. But Shane made these pipes. He sweated them in so that we just turn on this, and sometimes it works. And inside here we have just an epoxy made of all of the different fire agate that we found last year in Tonopah, Arizona. So we've kind of made a full circle here. We're in Arizona again. We, for years, jumped from city to city. We lived in Dallas and then Fort Collins and Denver, and rent on apartments just kept going up. It was constant. I think at one point we were paying almost $1,600 for a 1-bedroom apartment. And then we were all ready to join in on this lifestyle. We were looking at campers to buy, and we wound up having a family emergency, and we had to go back to Alabama for a couple years. And during our time there, it just became more and more evident that we needed to do something for us. We needed to do something crazy, and this is what we wanted to do. So we kept searching for the perfect camper to renovate and make our own, and eventually just decided that we needed something that was more us and than we were ever going to be able to buy. So we did it. All right, storage is really important, and when you're on the road, you have to find as much of it as possible. So a lot of our house is actually just places to store things. For instance, we have a coat closet here, and it has all of our stickers from all of our friends that we've met on the road, and then just our coats and little toiletry drawers in here so that everything is all nice and organized.
So we had been discussing the idea of hitting the road and even looking at all these campers, and I mentioned building our own, and I showed Kelsey different pictures online of people that had built their own slide-in campers, much smaller. So she got to drawing around on graphing paper and drew something very similar to the structure, and we both agreed that was really cool, and then we just started building. So there was no technical blueprints or anything. I had done several different home remodeling projects and things like that, so conceptually, you know, you're building a house, but there was no experience whatsoever. We did things however we felt would work the best and hope for the best. There was no...
Yeah, for sure. So I think I slid those drawings over to Shane, and 3 days later we started building, and then it took 43 days to build it. We had it all done for under $4,000, just with all of like the things that we pulled out of dumpsters or we already had from him remodeling his mom's house. Like we managed to get by really, really cheap with it.
Most of the reclaimed stuff was actually used because of an opportunity. It was a business that was going out of business, and they had all these pallets that had been in storage for years that had never seen moisture. So I got really fortunate with that. I would wait every day after work, and they'd have a big stack of them. So all of this were pallets. Even down to the roof, the portions of the roof, those were cut off. So I built fences all summer, privacy fences in neighborhoods, and there's a particular style of fence that requires a lot of trimming. So we had a ton of these. These were just leftover, which is big for us. We didn't get to put them up initially, and you could see the staples and what have you. But the ceiling is cloth because by the time we got to the ceiling, we realized we were hitting a big weight limit. So putting panels of things up didn't make sense. The whole house is insulated with home insulation. We had it from another project. So we crammed it up in the top and then filled it in with cloth to keep the weight down. Why did you call it the Love Hut, Kelsey?
Honestly, I was playing around with different names and like seeing what was taken, but honestly, it was about spreading love and our love for each other. Every bit of it was built with love, and we were just looking for that connection amongst other people. And the for life part is we were just ready to start living. Like, we felt like our life was kind of slipping away and we needed to do something big and go out there and find it. And I think we definitely found life.
Which is also why we painted it yellow too. It's a very bright color, but
Yeah.
something naturally happens to people when they're driving down the road. More often than not, they're smiling when they see it. And it might not have been a very good day for that person, but they saw some ridiculous yellow structure driving down the house, and we get a smile out of them. And that means a lot.
That's one of my favorite things about being on the road and driving this thing around is how often we make people smile. Like, little kids will just be like, hi, on the side of the road, and it makes our day every single time.
The staircase was even utilized for storage. This top compartment here it's 2 levels, and it goes down to the basement where we keep the battery, and then all of the electronics for the battery and all the fuse blocks and switches are all stored inside the staircase. We also use this portion for a toolbox or keep odds and ends in. There's also a composting toilet built into the staircase as well. We do have hanging baskets all through the house. Once again, storage is kind of key, so we saw a big void because it is a very large structure to be nomadic, and corners aren't really used very much. So Kelsey started making these nets so we can hang things like jackets and what have you that were being tucked in spaces.
We are both career bartenders. So when we hit the road, our plan was we were going to stop every 3 months and work for a month or so, and then we would be good to go. And that didn't work out because our first stop for work, Corona, happened and bars shut down all over the country. So we've been doing different things, odd jobs. I learned to tile. That was fun. We remodeled a Dollar General. We sold ice cream off of a pontoon boat in Alabama. And Shane has actually been building a lot of rigs. So right now we have a bus that we're going to be building for our buddy Nelson just in a few weeks, and then a box truck that you're going to be building out too.
Odd jobs have definitely taken the place of our income, but as you come to these events, you also just realize there's endless ways to make money.
Endless.
If you're trying to find just that perfect office job that has this great deal where you get to be remote, that might not be worth waiting on. There's always a way to make money. It just depends on how creative can you be, and living this lifestyle helps you be a little creative.
We found a bunch of crystals up in Arkansas. We found a crystal vein, is that correct? And I've been wrapping them and selling some of them online. So you realize that you don't necessarily need a lot when you're on the road.
Yeah, your cost of living ends up being a lot lower than you anticipate. Your needs are much lower than you think they are.
Yeah,
I
for
promise.
sure.
The house is anchored on by multiple different points, some with toe straps. There's also turnbuckles inside of the bed. We utilize the tubing that goes through the frame to run the straps through. There's another one in the back that comes down to the frame, as well as 2 more in the front. We also utilize the underside of the house when we're traveling. We have a fold-up chair that straps underneath our hammocks. Just once again, another dead space that could be used. The jacks were actually tongue jacks for a trailer I got at Harbor Freight, and we had them re-welded to make them longer. They were intended to actually lift the house off the truck and be able to pull out from underneath it, but they were not quite sufficient for those needs. We do use them when we're parked, and it stops the rig from rocking so much when you're inside, which a lot of truck campers have a problem with that. So it makes it a lot more livable when you're doing it full time versus just a weekend trip. Down below, we also have a swinging door that accesses the basement, and there's a slide out drawer which our stabilizing jacks lay on when we travel, so they're not on the outside of the rig, as well as any power tools or anything else. We have legs for this table as well, and we can use it as an outdoor surface for cooking, eating, woodworking, whatever we need it for.
Guys, thank you very much for watching our tour. We hope that you enjoyed seeing our house, and we hope that you'll look us up on social media if you're interested in anything about our lives. If you want to ask us questions, we're always open to it. We're Love Hut for Life on all platforms.
We hope we see you out on the road. Bye, y'all.
Have a good one.